Welcome to my channel, Sunshine Shoulders. My name is Calvin. I want to say good morning to my subscribers in the Philippines. Good evening to my subscribers in America and beyond. I always give a special welcome to my new viewers and new subscribers. Thank you so much for stopping by today. I really appreciate it. Your kindness, your generosity, your support of Sunshine Shoulders has been truly amazing, and I'll never take that for granted. My channel is geared toward the new man and woman who's never been here to the Philippines before, but has a general interest in making a visit here. And my almost 12 years doesn't make me an expert, but it does give me a unique perspective, and I'd like to share that with you to make your trip here more enjoyable and above all things safer. I'm boots on the ground, right in the center of all this. I live among the locals, and it's for your benefit. I'm always going to give you the nitty-gritty. This is exactly what I'm seeing, what I'm living, what I'm experiencing. I'm never going to sugarcoat that. It's not going to start today. I'm going to talk about don't take anything for granted when you come here to the Philippines. Yeah. See, a lot of times as Westerners, we get into a routine. We get comfortable. Yeah. And we think everything is the same all around the world. That people think the same way we think, they act the same way we think. No. I always call the Philippines a unicorn. It's a unicorn. But there's some things that I want to warn you about, to be cautious about, especially on your first visit. But before I do, I want to address something. Yesterday I did a video about, one of the best paying jobs in the Philippines is to have an online relationship with a gullible foreigner. And I got a comment from a young lady that I thought it's just an unbelievable comment. And it, I wish I could interview this young lady. I want to read it to you because it's very important that you hear it straight from her. And her name is, you can go on there, I'm sorry, her name is, you can't see this, Joy Castillo. It's underneath that video. It says, as a Filipina myself, I'm ashamed at what my fellow Filipinos have been doing. It is true. It does happen, not only in the Philippines, but also in other countries. My only advice to those foreigners who want a Filipina as a partner, listen to this, guys, she's saying this, is you shouldn't go to any dating sites. Seriously. She says, it will not only get you scammed, but you give those people the opportunity to scam and deceive you. If you want to meet a Filipina, you can ask a friend of a friend of a friend, LOL, or someone you know if they know someone who's interested in dating foreigners. Everything Calvin said is true, but let me remind you not to generalize because not all Filipinos are like that. You just have to take your time. Guys, this is coming from a Filipina. She says, don't go online to meet Filipinas. Come over here. Ask somebody to introduce you to a woman that they know that dates foreigners. Okay? I thought that was interesting because that's straight from the horse's mouth. It's not from me. It took me years to figure that out. That it's better to just come over here. Who told us to go online anyway? When I went to Cancun, Mexico, I didn't go to LatinaCupid.com or MexicanCupid.com. I just went over there. But when I came to the Philippines, I got online. I didn't promise you guys in 2009, I never even heard of online dating before until I was ready to come over here. And I got in the chat room and they were saying, yeah, go on that site, go on that site. I think it was Cebuanas.com. They suggested I do that. But who told us that that's the best way to meet women over here? It's not, in my humble opinion. But that's enough of that. I just thought I'd read that to you. That's straight from a Filipina. She says, stay off those dating sites. Come over here and meet them. But my vlog yesterday was not even really about online dating. It was about stop sending money to people you don't know. That's really all I was doing. I'm trying to help you save money because you're going to need it when you get over here. But anyway, don't take anything for granted when you come over here. And I got that topic because I was just scrolling through YouTube and I saw that case of that U.S. Marine, that Pemberton guy back in 2014 they're in the Philippines on leave, and he's part of one of them battle groups. He meets this woman at the bar. He's been drinking, she's been drinking. Takes her back to the hotel where she turns out she's a man. He took it for granted that she was a woman without, making all the checks and balances and everything that you're supposed to do. Comes out, figures out it's a man. He kills her. Well, he got lucky, really. He got really, really lucky. They charged him with homicide instead of murder, and homicide is different over here than murder. I'm not a lawyer, so you have to look that up, but they only gave him 10 years. He did 5, and they gave him, because they have a generous good time policy over here, they gave him 5 years good time. And man, the people over here are still angry about that. And, Duterte pardoned him too, so he got lucky. But anyway, don't take anything for granted. Even on that line of when you're chatting with someone online, don't take for granted that it's a woman you're chatting with. Guys, listen to me. A lot of the profiles on these sites are men behind there. Yeah, see? And then they'll put you off enough times until they can get some money out on you, and then they'll just disappear. But don't take for granted that that's a woman that you're chatting with. Okay? That's why I'm saying, take your time, proceed with caution, but don't take that for granted. Remember, guys, we're on the other side of the planet. We're in another hemisphere. You have to cross the international timeline to get here. It's so different over here, man. One thing, you want to have your antennas up the minute you get off the plane. Okay? Another thing I want to warn you about, don't take for granted. One of the reasons why people love the Philippines is because they've got a large English-speaking population. Okay, but it's a lot of people over here that don't speak English. So don't take for granted that the people you're talking to, they understand you, or they understand you totally. Especially when you're making a deal, when you're going to buy something, when you're asking directions or anything like that. Make sure that they understand you. Sometimes one of the things that drives me crazy about my girlfriend is she'll let me talk for 5 minutes and never understood anything I said. She just looks at me like she's a piece of stone. And it drives me crazy. It makes me angry. Instead of her stopping and say, look, honey, I don't understand what you're saying. But see, I'm taking for granted that she does. But see, now I perceive because, do you understand what I'm saying, honey? So if you're buying 3 of something, you make sure they understand you only want 3. Okay, you don't want 6. Or if you're only going to stay one night at the Airbnb at the hotel, make sure they understand that that's what your intentions are, guys. Okay? Another thing is, how warm and welcoming the Filipino people are. They have a reputation all around the country. Don't take it for granted that everybody wants you here. Okay? Don't take that for granted that everybody's happy that you're in the Philippines, because they're not. Remember, we've got a long history with the Philippines. Americans have been here at least since 1899. There's been some unsavory characters that have done some unsavory things to the Philippines and to the Filipinos. And they hold a grudge against all Americans, against all foreigners. So don't take it for granted that you're welcome everywhere. Don't take it for granted that everybody's glad that you're here. Okay, I'll give you a perfect example. A gentleman I was chatting with today, he sent me in my messenger a map, because I never heard of where his girlfriend stayed. Well, he sent it to me on the map, and I was like, look, guy, do not go there. And if you want to tell your girlfriend that, hey, a guy on YouTube told me don't go there, it's 1 hour from Marawi. If you never heard of Marawi, then I don't have time to explain it to you. And I said, look, guy, don't go there. I said, you tell her to meet you somewhere closer to like Cagayan de Oro or Osama City, somewhere like that where you're going to be safe. Because you're not welcome where your girlfriend lives. And don't take it for granted that you are, because she says you are. Do not go there. If you're going to stay here permanently, then you let her know, look, we're going to move somewhere outside of this place because it's dangerous for me. Another thing I want to tell you to be leery about is your money. Okay, that's why I always tell people, look, man, when you get off the plane, exchange your money at the airport. Okay, so the exchange rate is a little off than it is going to be at the bank, and I'm not saying exchange all of your money, but exchange enough where you can get comfortably settled in to your hotel, to the Philippines, before you have to exchange any again. Then by that time, you know for sure the bank hours, because a lot of the banks close at 3 here, then I open on Saturday and I open on Sunday. And you can get that little extra, say for instance, right now the rate is 48.07 pesos to the dollar. You're going to get that at the bank. Okay, at the exchange you might get, I think yesterday I saw it where it's 47.6. Okay, so you're talking 1.4 pesos for every dollar you're going to lose. So, all right, so if you spend $100, if you exchange $100, you're going to lose 140 pesos. That's about $3, guys. That's worth your life. That's worth you getting robbed. Okay, because at the airport you're surrounded by armed guards. It's legitimate money exchange places, and they're giving you real money. See, you can't take for granted when you're out on the street in Manila, Cebu, and some of these places that exchange place is a legitimate exchange place, unless it's in the mall or someplace like that, okay? Because they're setting them up, guys, and they're getting us good over here. These fake exchange places, they're giving us counterfeit money. They're shuffling money where you're supposed to get 50,000 back, and they're giving you this sleight of hand. They're giving you 40,000, and by the time you know what hits you, it's too late. So don't take that for granted. All right. There's another thing that I wanted to talk to you about. Don't take for granted that you can trust everybody over here, even the woman that you're with, especially somebody in their family. Because a lot of times, let me tell you something. When you hear about a foreigner getting killed over here, he's trusted the wrong person. It's that simple. Whether it's somebody they let in their house, maybe a helper, a servant, a friend of the family, somebody they trusted. But on the other end of that, yesterday I went to Bacolod to renew my visa, right? And I called a bus and we go through the mountains. And they always stop at these little places where you can use the bathroom or buy something to eat. But just one split second, because I had been riding with these people on the bus for like an hour. I felt like I knew them. I was going to leave my bag with my passport, with my phone, with important documents in there, just because I ain't going to be gone for 5 minutes. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's the worst thing you could possibly do. And then I just remember, are you crazy? Because we get complacent. We get comfortable. We get into that routine, And it would have cost me everything, because somebody on that bus would have taken that bag. Because as a foreigner, I'm being watched 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year over here. So don't take for granted that you can trust everybody over here. And on that note of Bacolod City, if you don't have Bacolod City on your list of places to go and see Bacolod City. I like Bacolod City for no other reason, but it's close to a lot of nice places. It's like a 45-minute fast craft ride from Iloilo City. You'll get in the Ocean Jet, or they got another, the Fast Cat. It takes you over to Iloilo City, and then, of course, Iloilo City, excuse my language. I've added it to my list of expat alley cities. The expat alley, it's not an original phrase of mine, but I just use it on my channel to talk about cities where there's a lot of foreigners, there's a lot of expats, and if you're new, it would be a good idea for you to try to settle into one of those cities first to get your feet wet. Manila, Cebu City, Dumaguete, Davao, Bacolod City, Iloilo City, Angeles City. See, where everything that you have at home that you've gotten used to is going to be available in those places. See, in San Carlos, it's not. There's no major mall here. We got Gasano, but they don't have anything in there. You know, my computer that I got, you got to go all the way to Bacolod City to get something like that. Or if you're looking for a webcam or, something like that, you have to go all the way to Bacolod City to get that. So before you try to move to a place like this, that's off the beaten track, go to Expat Alley first, and I'm working on a video. It's called The Invisible Philippines. And what it's really talking about is the mountain province. Those mountains. When I went to Bacolod from San Carlos, I had to travel through some mountains. They call them the Don Salvador Mountains. Well, from the street, from the road, you can't see anybody. You would never know that there's thousands and thousands of people up there in those mountains. I mean, I don't know who engineered that place, who cut that road through there and set up those communities through there, but it's unreal, it's unbelievable, and it's an unseen part of the Philippines that many of us miss because we stay on the flatlands and we only look out and see those mountain ranges. We don't realize, man, that there's hundreds of thousands of people up there. And they live just as well as the people down on the road. They have the same things up there. Now, what they do have to do is come down to get, to go to the store and, get their needs, but then they go back up there. And life is totally different. And the people are totally different, But I'm doing a video on that, because I've got some footage now, and I'm going to include that. I mean, it's beautiful up there. It's like you're flying. But I would suggest that when you come to the Philippines that you have your girlfriend say, hey, take me to a mountain province, because every city just about has one. Don't miss out on that. Now, certain places you don't want to go, around there by Davao, in those mountains, because it's dangerous. But most places you can go to in those mountains, take them to see that, because otherwise you're going to miss it. You're going to stay down on the flatlands, the lowlands. You'll never go up in those mountains. But have them take you up there. And if you're in San Carlos or you're in Bacolod City, take a ride, man. It's a 2.5-hour ride through those mountains, either from Bacolod to San Carlos or San Carlos to Bacolod. And you can thank me later, man. It's beautiful. So I just wanted to let you know, guys, don't get complacent when you come over here. These people are warm, they're welcoming. I love it over here, man. But if you let your guard down, man, it's going to cost you. It could even cost you your life. It's going to cost you money. So just be on the alert over here. Use your same due diligence, your same common sense that you use that's made you successful all these years. Most of us are 40, 50, 60, 70 years old when we get over here. Don't let your guard down over here, okay? Even when you get comfortable, even when you've been here a while, you can't do it. You're on the other side of the planet. This is not America. It's not Britain. It's not France. It's not Ireland, Finland, and all those other Western countries. Man, you will get your head handed to you over here if you do. So thank you so much for stopping by today. I really, really appreciate it. Again, my vlogs are sometimes inspirational, sometimes motivational, sometimes entertaining, but most of the time they're informative. But they're never, ever negative, and they're never bashing anybody. I'm trying to give you some information to help you. I'm sharing information, my boots on the ground information, to help you avoid a lot of the pitfalls that I made when I came over here. See, you know what I'm saying? My mistakes have become my secrets. And I just share them with you now to make your trip here more enjoyable and more safer. I'm not trying to discourage you from going online. It's good women online. But man, I'm going to tell you, it's like a needle in 10 haystacks. And because we don't know who the scammers are, we got to take for granted that they're all scammers. And you can take that for granted. Okay? And a lot of stuff, I tell you, man, you can take it to the bank. I'm not going to lie to you, man. I'm not on here to be popular. I'm on here to be helpful. Give you a resource that I didn't have. I'm in the process right now of writing the small, I call it the small Philippine handbook for first-time travelers to the Philippines. And everything that I talk about on my vlogs is going to be in there. Okay? So if you're in America, it's getting late. Before you let your head hit the pillow, please find somebody to help. You don't want those late grocery runs, beer runs, weed runs. You're just getting off second shift and you see somebody on the street. Please buy them something to eat. Buy them something to drink. Give them a couple of dollars. If you're in the Philippines, it's about 11 a.m. in the morning. You know, we still have the whole rest of the day to find somebody to help. You know our situation over here. That's why it's very, very important that we help each other. Because if I don't know anything else, I know this one thing for sure. When we help other people, we help ourselves. Take care, stay safe, stay COVID free, and I'll see you next time.